Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, I'm Arman Nasim, the writer of Lost Magic.
My name is Martin Munoz, and I'm the artist of Lost Mike.
What if I told you that all the stories, monsters that you've ever heard of are true? You'd be scared, wouldn't you? Decisions are all you have. Which side will you choose?
And I'm probably going to get a copyright claim for that because it happens every single time. Because there's no such thing as free music anymore. I swear to God, I could get a harmonica and a spoon in here and belt out something at random. And in the morning, YouTube would say, "Yeah, we found a Mac for that," because they just do. And that's YouTube's purpose, is to put your videos out there and hit me with copyright claims. I'm kidding. It won't happen, I'm sure. Hello, everybody. I am RJ Carter. Yeah, I am. Had to think about that for a minute. Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, Chief Envelope Licker for Critical Blast Logistics, and Proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing. I only get paid once. I got to check on that. Something's going off with that. Anyway, tonight we are welcoming you all to the chat so that we can dig into some more crowdfunding campaigns. Love tonight because we have, once again, a newbie. It's a virgin to the show. Throw toast and shout. And if you're old enough to get that reference, why are you here? You should be in bed. Anyway, please welcome with me to the stream Mr. Arman Nasim, the creator of Lost Magic. Arman, welcome to the show, sir.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh, glad to have somebody here. You know, it's otherwise it's just me talking to this wall in front of or behind my computer. It gets real boring real fast. So why are you making comics? I mean, there's got to be easier ways to make a living, right?
Yeah, I used to make a bunch of short films and tell stories that way. But then since the pandemic happened, we kind of really couldn't shoot as much. And then I just had all this creative energy, right? And I wanted to tell stories. I kind of knew that. And then I found, comics. I kind of fell in love with them all over again, with the indie comic scene, which I didn't even know existed until kind of like I would say 2-3 years ago. And then when I kind of started reading Monsters for the first time by Marjorie Liu, I kind of decided that's kind of what I want to do, kind of create these fantasy worlds and tell like huge stories.
Yeah. Spoiler alert here. The indie comic scene's been around for a good 50 years, but it is really going through a renaissance period and a resurgence, and on a competitive level like I've never seen before, thanks to crowdfunding and all the different outlets that people are using to, you don't have to find a publisher and sell your stuff now. And honestly, I think that kind of scares them. Because indie comics now are at a point where they can compete with the DCs and the Marvels. And I'll tell you, we have on our website, criticalblast.com, our poll is open right now through the end of the month where we're taking votes on the best of 2021, best movies, best actors. We have best comics on there as well as writers and artists. Not one single DC title made the nomination list for best comic. One Marvel comic made the list. And we have over a dozen nominees on there. So step up your game, big boys, if you want to stay there, because otherwise you'll be the next Roman Empire. and we'll be talking about remember when these guys were in charge. So you saw Marjorie Lose Monsters, great series, and that inspired you to get into comics. Obviously, you already knew how to write scripts and screenplays and stuff.
Yes.
So it wasn't that big of an adjustment.
No, not at all. I think I've been kind of writing stories for, ever since back in high school. I used to write poetry a lot, and I was even the editor-in-chief of my school newspaper, greatly inspired by actually Clark Kent from Smallville. And then, so I've kind of always been kind of telling stories, but then this is definitely like a new outlet to tell it.
Yeah, I can relate. I was editor of my school paper when I was in college, and I had written. My 8th grade teacher required us to turn in a paper every Friday. He didn't care what it was on, just have something written. So I turned in serialized chapters of a vampire fighting in World War II, and I've always been writing as well, so I get it. Wrote and had produced my first play at 6 years old in 1st grade. So it was a stupid play, but the teacher grabbed it and ran with it, and the older kids put it on. I was like, I felt like I had done something. So yeah, it's fun. That's not my alarm. That's your alarm. They both sound the same. It's not 6:30. I didn't go to sleep yet. So how did you go about finding an artist? Because pandemic, everybody's kind of locked away. You got to search the internet now, and you can't shake hands and have beers with people.
Definitely. I was scrolling a lot through Instagram because I didn't really kind of know what I want to do. A lot of Instagram and Facebook posts. I found my artist because I was at the time following Bill Sikowicz. I just had read his Elektra series, huge fan of Elektra. And then he actually he shouted out, commented, or liked this artist's, who was much smaller than him. His name was Martin. And then I reached out to Martin and I was like, wow, your artwork is actually really cool. And because of that kind of connection, we kind of started talking a little bit more. And then, a little down the line, I had this idea for a story that kind of like perfectly fit. And I kind of used, with him in mind, created this, this world using his art style kind of in my mind. And then when I reached out to him about it, he was super excited for it. And he kind of wanted to jump on board as well.
So that's interesting. Because a lot of writers have the story and then they look for the artist whose style will match it. You had an artist whose style you liked and you wrote a story to match it.
Yes, exactly.
That's like the horse taking a ride in the cart and expecting you to pull it. But it's working. We'll take a look at the art here because this is some interesting stuff here. We're going to look to the left a lot because first thing I'm thinking is Starfire. But that's just because of a color scheme. But this creature over here, this moss encrusted skeletal thing, holding a sword. That's scary looking. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I want it to be equal parts horror and fantasy. And I found this monster designer. There's some creepy stuff, scary stuff on his his portfolio, Quincy Washington. And I knew when I saw it again on Instagram, I was like, I need to get this guy in to design this monster.
Yeah, wait till you discover DeviantArt, man. But again, don't click the I'm over 18 button because you'll get stuff you don't want to see and you can't unsee. So who, before we scroll down, who are these two characters? Are they pivotal to the story in any way, or?
Oh, absolutely. So in this first number one, this first season or this first issue, it comes across as the girl on the left, not girl. She's female warrior. She's a leader of the king's army, and she's the greatest warrior. Kind of pioneering that entire army. And then you have on the right, you have a monster known as a Changeling, and he's a leader of the rebellion, and basically they're in like a lawless, chaotic world filled with magic. But as magic starts dying, you have these two kind of cults or kind of divides, schisms in the community. And one is a rising king who wants to build a new civilization, the first civilization on this world. And he wants to do it without magic, to do technology and invention, and then you have the monsters, or like just a different community who wants to keep the chaos and disarray the way it's always been. They want their power, they want their magic, and that's kind of the two main divides in this first issue.
And dinosaurs exist because
Yes, absolutely.
Triceratops.
Well, that's actually the last dinosaur in existence. So,
Oh, okay. Well, it's really his story then, isn't it?
yeah.
So this sounds a lot like, well, not a lot like, but it reminds me of sort of the French Revolution with Robespierre was trying to install an age of reason. We were going to get rid of all the religious stuff, basically the belief in the supernatural. And we know where that ended up. Robespierre's reason took him all the way to the guillotine.
Right.
So I wouldn't want to be the king in this particular country here. Is this another? We just mentioned there's a dinosaur, so I'm going to guess it's set on this world rather than another world, or.
So there's two worlds, two planets that are very loosely connected, and they're Earth is one of them, and then there's this lost world that people are able to cross over from both sides through a portal. Nobody really controls this portal. It kind of shows up, and then whether you want to or not, so sometimes you just go through it. So that's kind of the main premise. And then this story takes place on this lost world, especially this first.
So it's sort of like the Bermuda Triangle or the wardrobe.
Yes, and this world actually sits at the center of the universe, which has a magical well. So all the universe's magic resides kind of at the center of this planet, this world, and then that's kind of where we're taking the story.
Okay, I would guess the further away you got, the less magical impact there was on a world from the center. But I'm just I'm just guessing. I haven't read it yet. Got the chat popping over here. Hail to the chat from Heroinberg, making the rounds. Everybody is going live tonight at the same time. I know it's crazy. We can't schedule that because there's too many of us. Frog G, hail, glad you're here. Pops Van Zandt is in the chat. We are both live, yes. And what Pops is referring to is we're trying to kind of merge our StreamYards and use them both at the same time, and pool our resources so that we can get the higher level. Maybe if we can show that things are working. He's in his studio, I'm in my studio, and it's very. I don't think it's going to work quite the way we want because he's still got to be in his studio, and if I expand mine to where we can have the 10 outlets, then he's still got to come to my studio, so there won't be any. We won't be streaming at the same time then to reach the same 10 outlets, but we can reach some of the outlets, and we'll do our best. We're trying to expand our coverage, both of us working together to get you in front of more eyeballs.
Definitely want that.
So how long did it take? If once you were inspired by Martin's work here, to come up with a story, what did you do and what else inspired it? It had to be more than just, I like the look of this, let's write a story for it, because you could have done any sort of sword and sorcery, Conan the Barbarian, Mighty Men and Monsters kind of thing.
Right. I wanted to kind of draw on all my childhood inspirations, so a mix of Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and I kind of wanted to tell a huge story. I wanted to tell a very specific story that kind of saw different from different POVs that had multiple characters and had a very kind of like definitive ending. And right now, when first sat down with Martin, I had pitched him a full 6 seasons or 6 issues, and I kind of told him that, and it had an ending, and I kind of told him like, this is kind of what I want, and so when that kind of happened, I was kind of inspired by kind of just whatever was going, kind of around like the wildest things I could kind of imagine that I couldn't do anywhere else besides the comic book medium. I was like, I kind of that's what I kind of wanted for this. And it kind of just gets crazier and crazier every episode. I think it kind of gets a little more wilder.
It's got to be very freeing, I would think, to come from a screenwriting background
Definitely, yes.
where, you're telling your crazy tale, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, you know what? I can't have that kind of a creature because the FX department's going to charge us so much an hour, and it won't ever come to the screen. So,
Yes.
but with, like I talked with Lou Scheimer several years ago about the Star Trek, the animated series that he did, which was, actually the official 5th season of Star Trek, or 4th and 5th seasons. And he worked with Gene Roddenberry. He said that's the one thing that freed us up was we could do all the aliens and monsters and put them on the ship that you couldn't do on the television show because it always looks like a guy in a lizard head costume. The Klingons, they just look like Russians with goatees.
Right.
Because it just didn't exist. Now, how many episodes are in this campaign? Because I'm scrolling down here, we're already looking at artwork for episode 2.
So there are 6 episodes in season 1. So it's all being kind of collected under the first issue or the first season.
Okay, so this campaign is for the first season total. There'll be 6. Is it going to be 6 chapters in one book, or is it 6 floppies?
No, six chapters in one book.
Okay, so it's a pretty big book, I guess.
Yes, 36 pages for the regular version, for the standard version.
Okay, so it's 6 chapters, and altogether it makes a 36-page book. So that's about 6 pages per chapter. Quick stories, then, like we used to have in anthology stuff.
Yes.
All right. So who is Rain here then? This is who we're looking at now. Is she the same girl we saw earlier, the King's Guard?
No. So this is so Rain is she's actually the king's niece, basically. So not related to the king, but I think all these cool characters that can kind of come from that main divide, and we never get to see the king here, but what we do see is like we kind of see through different points of views. I think that's so much more interesting than kind of seeing a king versus his enemy. Kind of get to see everybody in between and how they react, and if they have to kind of where they land on this issue, and if they have to choose sides and all that good stuff. So she is a kid, and then she's kind of growing up in this kind of world, and we're kind of seeing it for the first time, this world as she's seeing it as well, because she's kind of very protective. She lives in the big castle. She is royalty, and then when all this stuff comes colliding, when her world starts changing, like magic starts dying, her family is getting kind of split apart because now her uncle's trying to become king. Like how does that affect her? So we're kind of seeing all these variables play on her, and also I think she's a good audience surrogate because we're kind of seeing everything as she and learning with her.
And she looks like she's got the adventurous spirit in her. So she's not just the royal princess, niece of the king kind of type person.
Absolutely.
She's doing the whole Tarzan swinging here. And then this is artwork from that chapter. They almost have like a Sesame Street kind of quality to them because of the coloration used for the skin tones here.
Right. And that was a big thing. I want to make it a colorful world. And that's her twin brother, Rain and Riley. So Riley's the twin brother of Rain.
Okay. Well, the next question I have is actually a lot more important for you, and it is, why is my Litecoin investment going down so far? And I asked that because Herwenberg has brought up that you were into comics, fitness, and investing, and we can see how ripped you are on your website. But I'm more interested in that investing thing because I bought the dip, and the dip turned into a chasm, and I bought the chasm that turned into a ravine. I'm like, okay, where's
how far back
level?
are you going? I think it's definitely a recently. It definitely went down over like the last month. But if you look at it over the long term, it's gonna if you hold for 3 months, it's gonna be different. I think it's
hodl. Everybody hodl.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, somebody told me it was going to be, Litecoin is going to be 360 by the end of last year, and I believed them. I got 130. I'm like, that's a lot less. That's not even like close, people. As somebody who's into investing, do any of these people know what they're talking about when they make these kind of predictions? Is there any basis for like Yeah, see, I told you to do that because of this. Any science?
There is, there's math. There's a lot of math involved. Whether or not it's actually proves useful is another story. A lot of times it's just basing it off, trends and what's happening in the current market and then how you place valuations. And everybody does it differently, so it's kind of okay. I wouldn't say everybody knows what they're talking about. I'm not gonna say nobody knows what they're talking about. It's somewhere in the middle, I would argue.
Everybody knows the math, but it's really a psychology game.
Yes.
So it's like, something happened. How will people react to that something?
What I will say though is that you kind of want to be on the ground floor of everything. You don't, even if you miss out, you don't want to miss an opportunity. So don't put everything into one thing. But a lot of people were asking about NFTs. I went on a few live streams before, and I was like, yeah, I got one just at the very beginning, just because. Why would I miss out on that, on the potential there?
Yeah,
and
you
then
can get into something while it's in the sub dollars.
Yeah.
Even I have bought things that were less than a penny before because I'm like, how much further could it go down? Turns out a lot. My retirement plan is basically to go door to door to CEOs and say, hi, here's my portfolio, and show them my portfolios that I have from Marvel Entertainment, LA Gear, and Levitt's Furniture. And all three companies that I bought in the 90s, and all three which went bankrupt within less than a year of my purchasing them, all three at one time. And for a mere $5,000 a year, which you don't even pay your janitor that, $5,000 a year, I promise I will not put a penny into your company. I will keep my poison money out of your funds. If I can just get 10 CEOs to sign off on that, I'm good. I can live on that.
Yeah.
But back to Fraggle Rock, not Fraggle Rock, but Lost Magic here. I'm saying that because the cuteness of the characters here as they tumble around. How this does not look horror to me. So this is going to jar the reader at some point when they get
I hope
used
so.
to playing.
I certainly hope so. And I think with again, we're seeing the more innocence here of the world, a softer side of the world. But there's different episodes that get a lot more scarier. But this one's pretty, I would say, a little scary, but not yet.
So what kind of horror are we looking at here? Is this more like a Lovecraftian horror? Are we going to see blood and guts pulled out of people?
Not blood and guts, more of the Lovecraft, but also more of the I was thinking about this a lot when I started. If any of us ever saw a monster in real life, I think we'd be terrified. I go on midnight runs. I go on, just hang out late at night. I think a lot of things can happen in the dark, and I think that sometimes your mind just kind of like plays with you. And I think if we ever saw a monster, that'd be like super scary. I kind of want to insert that feeling all throughout this book, and it's not even a jump scare. It's more of the feeling of the environment being kind of like alive and being unknown, and that uncertain, the fact that you don't know and it's new and you're uncomfortable with it. That's kind of the scary I'm going for.
Yeah, I'm kind of comfortable with the unknown. I used to do the late night walks, like 1 a.m. With some friends around Woodridge, Illinois, up near Chicago, and I think if I'd seen like a flathead zombie come around some bushes, that wouldn't scare me nearly as much as it would coming on other people, because I know what other people can do, and I don't want to be on the receiving end of it.
Yeah,
The zombie, he just may be out for it's like just catching, chilling and looking for brains. Don't want yours. So we've got playtime here. We've got war. This is a different kind of horror in and of itself, because people are going to die here. Who is at war in this particular instance? Is it the people from two different realms or two different lands?
No, so it's the people on this world, and again, it's that schism that I was talking about, the kingdom that's trying to be built versus the rebellion. So they found that they know that this is the king's domain or family, and now they're coming after him, right? And then this is kind of what we're seeing here.
So these are the people and/or / creatures who keep magic alive.
Yes.
If they're on the Is this planet the one that's in the center of the universe where
Yes.
the well of magic is? Okay,
Yes.
so if there is this well of magic and the king wants to build it without magic, is he trying to get rid of magic or just trying to live without the magic that's there?
Both. So there's a lot of so there's a lot of kind of so there's a mystery going on as well, and people have to try to figure it out. I think that gives it high rereadability. But I think that the king's motivations we don't actually see, so we don't actually know. So I think that kind of just adds to the whole mystery of what's happening.
Okay, I just didn't know if he was like taking the Darren Stevens route, where he was like, hey, no nose twitching here. We're going to do this the right way. Or if he was going where is this well and how much dynamite can we get into it to destroy it?
Definitely, and I think that's going to be a future episode for sure when we see kind of how the king sees it through his eyes, through his point of view.
Okay. This is the point where I find out that as funny as I've been trying to be, I've been embarrassing myself because I'm also talking with a professional comedian who does stand-up gigs. So does that influence any of the humor in writing your comics? Heroin Bird would like to know.
Definitely. I think it does. I think naturally I feel like I have a humor that, it's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I don't
Been
know.
there.
And by when I say it doesn't, I mean like it went too far. And the thing is, like, out of 20 jokes I tell, 19 people love. It's that one that and I don't know what it is. Out of 20 times, one of them won't work, and there's no way I would know. There's no way for me to kind of filter it. So I would say that it does kind of affect the way I think it affects more the way I kind of interact with people more so than my writing style. But it does make me kind of put when I'm thinking about characters and the way they speak to each other. I think it definitely gives me a different angle thinking about how other people kind of react to the way I speak to them and my humor and stuff like that.
Because a lot of stand-up, you think stand-up, a lot of it is you talking to the audience, but much of the time too, it's also storytelling. You're telling the audience, hey, this happened to my wife, and you actually do the conversation. You do a dialogue with yourself to act out the character, so they can see, the story you're telling to them, which I could see definitely translating to, comic book storytelling, where you've got multiple people talking to each other.
And I also do pranks on YouTube. I have a prank channel, and I also I wrote and starred in a like a sitcom, 20-minute pilot, kind of reimagining of The Office. That was kind of
okay. On YouTube, or was that?
It's on YouTube. It's on my website, and if anybody wants to see it, it's called Work in Progress. It's
we have the link to and we have the link to armannasim.com in the chat, so everybody click on that. We also have the link, by the way, pinned at the top of the chat and below the video to this Kickstarter. So I'm getting it. I know where everything is, even though it's mirrored over here. So click on that anytime and throw money at it. If you're doing it during the show, it'll open in a new window. You won't lose any of the commentary here. If you're watching it on replay, same thing. You'll still get to listen to all of this while you go pledge behind this thing. This is a pivotal moment in the story because the war has been raging out here between the Magic, Team Magic and Team Science, we'll say. And Riley and Rain are, this is, okay, I'm about to get blood in my hair from this sword sticking through your chest. Meanwhile, my sister has just pulled off a He-Man. She's grabbed the bow and
yes,
she knows what to do with it instinctively because it's glowing, it's magical, and I really have to see what the next panel looks like because I expect her to be 5 feet taller and built like a warrior princess.
Definitely. I used to watch those He-Man cartoons when I was little, and that definitely I drew parallels when I first saw it too, and I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, you can almost hear her shouting, "I have the power!" So yeah, this is very cool design. This is I like these hairy men, but they're also tattooed. They found places where they can ink themselves.
That's right.
And they're the ones that are standing, by the way. So she should be very, very scared, since I would assume she's her family's Team Science, and they're surrounding her. Now, this is the best news of the whole campaign, folks. This book is already complete. It's done. It's finished. Finito.
Correct.
So you're just really, getting the money now to send it off to the printing and pay for the artwork and get all that done.
Yep.
Variant covers. Wow. We did not see her on any of the interior pages yet, or did we?
Correct.
No, she's not holding a bow and arrow, so I can't say that this is our She-Ra kind of character. Now, this doesn't look like the same art. This is somebody different, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So this was again, I found him on, I believe it was Instagram, and he's a Zenoscope cover artist, and he's been doing a lot of these. And I was like, oh, I think it really looks really cool, and I kind of wanted something like that for Lost Magic. So I decided to give it a try and see what he can make, and I thought it turned out really cool.
Yeah, Zenoscope's got a lot of great cover artists. They've got a lot of okay interior artists. That's the only thing. That's the thing that always sticks with me about Zenoscope is I'll pick one up. I'm like, really like that cover. Open it up. I'm like, I'll kind of pass. But I really like that cover, and sometimes the cover comes home with me anyway. But when the interiors match, it's an easy buy. I love the Zenoscope stuff. I meant to click on that. It didn't show up. Are you allowed to say who the hottie is? It does look very Zenoscope. Well, now we know why. And you told us at the beginning, but like I said, we didn't run into her in the panel. So
no, but she is throughout the book. You'll see her in the book, and you'll see her. There's a special edition, Kingdom. That's the Kingdom cover, Kingdom variant, a special edition Kingdom variant book where there is a bonus page, and you'll see a lot more of her, in the bonus pages, and then also she has her own episode.
Okay, I like what I'm seeing here. She's got the sword. She's got this, witchblade clawed gauntlet thing here. A couple of daggers tucked into her belt. She's not messing around.
No, she's not.
Good to see. Very, very cool. And this is the Virgin cover C. This is the other character we saw at the beginning of the video. This reminds me of. This looks like something you would have seen on Plop. And, oh, you're way too young to know Plop. DC ran a bizarre comic. It wasn't even horror. It was sort of like underground rat racer kind of comic book. And every cover had one of these grotesqueries on it that were both humorous and at the same time. And that's just what I see here. I mean, this asymmetrical body design, this huge tumorous arm coming off of here. There's some Frazetta going on here with the skull and the helmet.
Definitely.
This is like, what if Death Dealer got microwaved? And all these swords just in the pool of blood behind him. He was like, yeah, they didn't get very far. And he's got, it's like, this is the head, right? But no, there's an eyeball in the chest. So for all we know, this is his mouth. I have no idea. He's just, his body parts everywhere. No, his mouth is over here. This is crazy.
Definitely. He's so his name is the Changeling, and he is he's probably the most powerful monster in the universe, on that Lost World, because he can change forms, right? And you'll never see him coming, and he can when he changes forms, he gets new powers, he gets new kind of things like that, new ways to kind of, I guess, kill you and stuff like that.
Jeez. Did you describe the character this way with this level of detail, or did you just say, I need a monster?
So I described a lot of the detail. I kind of, but then I kind of more so, I said, a lot of reference material, and I kind of, more so than what I said, the details, I told them what the feeling was, what I wanted, the objective was, what I wanted people to feel when looking at it. And then I kind of gave them flexibility on the details.
Well, I'm glad for the sake of the artist that this is an amorphous kind of character, because with this level of detail, drawing one panel is fine, but getting all the same details again in the next panel, that ain't going to happen. So yeah, he's constantly shifting and changing.
Yes.
So like this arm might be a little bit shorter, might have the mouth closed, things like that. And then this is the main cover, but it's black and white for the ash can. Am I correct that this is the main cover?
This is the main cover, but it's black and white. And for people who like the line art, and Martin's line art is gorgeous. There's an ash can edition in the higher tiers for digital or print. You can get the ash can, and it features all his gorgeous line art, untouched.
Yeah, and I like it. It's got a very scratchboard feel to it. It's when I say it's not as clean as some art is, I don't mean that in a derogatory fashion. It's very organic.
Definitely,
very scratched out.
It's very intentional, the style of the art.
Oh yeah, I really like it. I did not see where we were at the beginning, but I believe it has not moved during the course of the show. But you are almost at goal. 11 days to go, but wow, that's you've got to be chewing your nails.
Definitely. I was almost certain it was gonna fail when I first launched it. A week ago. It's been, I think, launched it last Monday. So now we're kind of a week and a half in. Doing it's catching a little fire. Kind of did a lot better than I expected. I'm so grateful for kind of all the people who kind of backed it, who kind of like are excited to kind of see the story. I think there's a lot of uncertainty and countless hours going into it, and kind of seeing it inch closer to the goal. It's very exciting, and I'm very
at this point it's almost sort of it's a nail biter. It's like, what if it doesn't hit the 1500? It's close, but it hasn't crossed it. And also, oh my God, what if it hits 1500? Now we've got to make it, because let's be honest, $1,500 is not going to make this comic.
Right. And so that's why it's already made, and I kind of just want to get it out into the world. I want to kind of take it to the con circuit. I kind of want to, kind of do all these things, and I think this is the first step. I kind of, I want to make more of these. I just want to kind of get a fan base and an audience to read the first one. And I kind of make it as easy as possible for putting the first digital copy, this entire thing, for $1. I just want people to jump in, not have a reason to not.
Now, when you say it's already made, we did see that earlier, and I made a point of that, but people mean different things by that. Is it already made in such a way that the print files are here, we just got to take them to the printer and get copies, or I've got a box of books here and I'm going to ship them all out?
No, I need to send it to the printer, and I'm using a local printer. It's already set up. We kind of been talking, going back and forth already, so it's all set to go. As soon as the campaign ends, I'll send the files over, just do a little cleanup if I need to. But this entire time I've been going back, and it's kind of just making sure I'm sending out review copies. I'm trying to see if any editors, any editing things, just those final touch-ups. But the actual, pages are done, fully done.
Okay, excellent. So the print files are put together. It's just press the button and tell us how many you want. Hermanberg says it does look very heavy metal, also like the Cursed Earth Mutants from Judge Dredd. So if you're fans of that, then you're definitely going to like it. And this is an all ages horror fantasy comic. Is that a correct statement there?
Yes.
Okay, because that, when I think all ages horror, I used to read some scary stuff.
Like Goosebumps and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, well, when I was a kid, it was I grew up in Sparta, Illinois, where all the comic books were printed. So I got them from friends' houses where their parents worked there, because they just brought the stuff home, print overruns and stuff. But I would read the DC had Ghosts, House of Mystery, House of Secrets, Unexpected, Witching Hour, and I was like, you had multiple stories in a single 22-page issue, and each one of them would scare the pants off of you. But they all had that O. Henry kind of twist ending that you wouldn't see coming. Yeah, I read them now. I'm like, yeah, I know exactly where this one's going. It's gonna be like this. But back then it was scary, but it was all ages scary. Now, if DC puts out a horror title, the first thing you're gonna do is turn the page and there's naked booty laying in bed or something. It's not all ages anymore. They've lost their way.
Yeah, for sure.
With comics. So the tiers here, because this costs money, folks. You don't get a free comic. You got a digital tier. I just scrolled past that real fast. I think nope. There it is. Or did I?
Yeah, it's the $1 one.
Whoa! See, I thought that was the tip tier. It's like, hey, give us $1 if you want. This is a 36-page comic book PDF for $1.
Yes.
Arman, that's insane.
I know. I know. I want to get people no reason not to jump in. I kind of, I went back and forth on it. And I was like, that's what I want to do.
Wow. And now, if they get the PDF, do they have to wait? I mean, because
no, it'll be shipped out. So the campaign ends on the 24th. It'll be shipped out by hopefully the end of the month or the first few days of February. It's going to be, whenever the campaign ends, and then I'll ship it out via email.
Okay, because you have to say art print file save as PDF. There you go.
Exactly.
Pro tip: make sure the cover is part of the deal. I've seen PDFs go out that didn't have the cover on them because like, it's just the story. No, the readers want the cover.
Of course.
It loses. It feels like reading a coverless comic if you don't have the cover image. It's like, this one's not worth anything. Get the cover image. Oh, it's worth something. $1. And you still get your name on the thank you page. That's okay. Why don't you have more backers? Because everybody will give a $1.
That's what I'm saying, Arch.
This I think that's gone past I have plenty of people in my chat who aren't here now apparently, but they can only do digital because they work remotely or they've run out of space in the house or they're overseas. Wow. So and $9 gets you the book.
Yes.
I've got to. Okay, no. So this doesn't work. Arman, you're smarter than this. This is not math. I ship books. I ship crowdfunded books as a career. Okay. Your basic mail-in of just a book is $6.50. $4.50 if I do it for free. Okay. So because that's how much it costs for the cardboard and the tape and the postage. You can't mail a comic for $2. What are you thinking here, man? Are you spending your trust fund just to get the book out or something?
For this first one, that was kind of the game plan. And I think it's really not, a loss. It's kind of, the goal for me was break even. And then I think that's why, for this print run, that's what the $1,500 goal was. So
that is just weird. Mike Walters in the chat. Mike, thank you for popping by, man. I will definitely pop by the mic stand when you go live right after we're done on your channel, and encourage everybody else to go over there for the niche news of the day in pop culture. So that this is the main cover. Okay, so here we get some real money, sort of almost.
Correct.
$19 for. What am I missing here? Because what I'm saying is the $9 comic book had a shipping destination where I saw that the United States was $2. The $19 comic book has no shipping.
This is digital. This is a digital one.
Oh! It's all digital. All digital.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting the ash can, all the artwork, the bonus pages, sent directly to your email. Okay, I got it. $19 for the bigger package,
Yes.
which is 2 different comics. You're getting the ash can,
And
the
the
color
bonus
version,
pages,
and all 4
yes.
4 covers.
All 4
Okay.
covers, yeah.
Those covers, by the way, and I haven't scrolled down far enough to see, but those would make excellent prints if you were looking for like stretch goals or add-ons and stuff like that.
Definitely. Definitely thinking about stretch goals. Right now I want to get funded and then definitely stretch goals afterwards.
Okay, so this is more realistic here. The $5 shipping for
Right.
boy, Kickstarter really wants you to keep clicking on the thing to fully show it. Again, this is you get it signed by yourself. You get the Kingdom bonus page. Now that says page. What does that mean?
So at the beginning, it's like a special prologue almost. It's an extra full page, that's only about the Kingdom backstory. You'll see more of Avla again, that the girl on that cover B.
Okay. So this and this is you still get the digital pack with everything in it you saw above.
Yes.
$25 total. That's more like what we expect from a crowdfund.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm hoping more people get. But
yes, I don't blame you. $20 for the Rebellion pack, which is you get the bonus page, you get the signature, the Dreamer pack, but you're getting the cover C, which cover C. Let's just get way down here. So this is cover B, which is the one we just saw, I believe.
Yep.
Yes, this is the Kingdom pack. That'll be the cover that you get on the book. This is the Rebellion pack, with the people who want to keep magic around.
Yes.
They're the monsters, they have a vested interest in keeping what keeps them going around. This is weird. This looks to me like it would be as much material as this one, because it's just the cover that changed.
yeah, and I think is it?
But it costs $1 less to ship it.
Oh well, I think that was a glitch or a mistake, probably.
Okay. The shipping number is the only one I ever pay attention
actually.
to. It's like, yeah, that's a reasonable ship price. It's $160. Oh, I don't care about that. I want to know how much it costs to ship. And then the True Dreamer Completionist, that you get B and C,
B and C.
And D for the
D,
Ashcan
special
version.
Ashcan. Yeah.
Oh, and you do get the 5x7 prints of the bonus cover. So cover B and cover C, the two we just saw.
So no, it's actually not those. It's actually the episode covers. So if you go scroll up to the beginning of the episode 2, before Rain, this one. So there's
this.
Yes, so there's 2 that are not in the book, but they're very good. Elizabeth drew them, painted them, and then from there, those are the ones that are going to be, the prints.
Okay, so these are interior page chapter intro covers.
Yes.
Inner covers, and they'll be available as 5x7 prints. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. It'd be nice to know what they look like, but it'll be a surprise when you get it. Okay. Now we're getting into real money. Now we're getting into the big stuff. The $150. You get to design a monster or you as a character. A lot of people like the drawn-in stuff, but I don't think anybody's ever really designed a full-blown monster, because you can go really crazy with this once people see what cover C looks like. They go, oh, I can really go to town with a monster on this. And you've got one taker, and there's 2 more left.
That's right. And
so do you give them any guidance on that?
What does guidance mean?
Well, if they turn in your monster looks, my monster looks like this and it does this, and you come back and say, okay, we can do this, but we can't have a monster made entirely out of nipples. It's an all ages comic, and we got
No, definitely. Not guidance, but we work together to make it. And I kind of stay true to your vision. Whatever you want, we can kind of talk about it. And then Martin and Michael will also, be in the part of the creation process. So it's not just me; they'll work directly, through me, kind of with Martin and Michael, the line artist and the colorist, to kind of make it alive.
All right, and then the final tier, the $300 one. This is where I knew this was going to be original artwork as soon as I saw it. Yeah. And this is the original inked artwork for that cover C. That's this, boys and girls. This is it'll be uncolored, just the pencil and ink. Original. That's awesome. It's 6x9.
Yes. Actually, I have it right here.
I was gonna say I would have thought it would have been bigger. Usually they draw on Bristol boards, but he's working 6. Well, maybe 6x9 is big enough. We'll give you the big screen when you're here.
Give me a second. I have to find it.
But who would not love to have this just framed on their wall? If you're a monster collector, if you got some Frazetta, some Vallejo, prints that just make up your man cave or your woman cave. Sorry, Rini, I know you love monsters too. This would fit in well there.
Wait, am I? Sorry.
And you still get the digital package. This doesn't include the book. That's what I'm trying to see if it does or not.
It does include it.
It does, digital and print. So there it is.
Okay, some technical difficulties. I did find it though. It is. I'm gonna try to put it up. So
Look at that. That is gorgeous.
It is. It's
That doesn't even look ink. That looks just penciled.
it's both pencil and inks, and it's very you can really see all the textures and details. It's
You
quite
can.
amazing.
Color washes so much out, I think, on stuff like this. $300, folks. Get this original piece of artwork and the book and the digital version of it.
Signed by Quincy himself at the bottom. So
How could you say no to this?
definitely.
This is original artwork from Quincy, Washington. Just open your wallets. Get this one. $300 to this campaign would
It would make me reach my goal.
yeah, it really would, because you'd be at 1347, close enough. Be a lot closer. Otherwise, you need another 400 backers getting that digital tier.
Right. But if I can make 400 new fans, I'm all for it.
Yeah. 47 backers. This deserves a lot more backers than that. So I'm guessing, just from what I've seen on Twitter, that I don't know what shows you were going on, but it seems like you've just sort of recently got on the circuit to start pushing the book.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That explains it. You were undiscovered until we got you on cameras here.
Correct.
That will make a big
I
difference.
I started this week.
One tonight, but we get a lot on the replay. That's where our value is. There's so many people streaming at the same time, and that it's a competitive market, and we do our best. Is there anything about Lost Magic that we didn't talk about that you've been like, okay, I'm ready with this answer as soon as he comes up with it, because surely he will, and then didn't?
No, I think we talked about all of it. I think we went through the entire campaign page, and that's kind of that's really the entire first book, what it's about. And I would say kind of draws on the inspiration of, I don't know, maybe I'll ask you, RJ, have you seen a book that kind of jumps from POV characters, kind of told in chapters, like in Game of Thrones, where that happens? Because I've never really seen that, for many reasons. So I thought this was kind of like for me, like kind of just jumping in and then kind of
not in a long time, and yesterday. And the reason I said it is because yesterday the mail came, and I replaced something that had been long missing from my collection from the 1980s. This is Marv Wolpin and George Perez's new Teen Titans annual #2 first appearance of the Vigilante, first appearance of Cheshire, and I believe possibly even the first appearance of the Monitor and Lila, but I'm not going to swear to that one. I think they might have shown up earlier than that. But yeah, you get chapters in here that are point of view switches from all the different characters. You really knew the characters in this particular run of the comic, what their traits were, what they liked, who they loved, what their fears were. Again, stuff that you just don't get a whole lot of in today's comics. Since today's comics, starting with 1995 forward, it's been because the X-Men used to be the same way. It's like, wow, you really know these characters. Now they're just like mutant wearing something different, mutant wearing something different. What do they do? It's all energy bursts.
Definitely.
So this looks more like the old stuff in that you can tell each character is unique. They each have they exude a different personality just by looking at them.
Definitely.
So I am very interested in getting into this. Probably the closest I've seen to something like this would be Nora's Saga, and I just say that based on kind of the art style and the swords, and maybe it's the parka because she's wearing that in the series from Allegiance Arts. But other than that, no, I've not seen anything good, not seen anything Dungeons and Dragons-y good like this in a long time.
Cool. That's definitely what I was going for.
Top of all the links. We got the link to the Instagram for Quincy Washington, so people can see more of his work. Get the original artwork, guys. It's going to be absolutely worth it. Arman, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight and bringing Lost Magic to us. I will tweet this out, and I'll jump in here on a level for sure.
That'd be great. Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, and I know it was a little short notice, but I believe it was WS Quinton that told me all about you, and he's also running his own campaign, and he's been a great resource because he's running his own fantasy campaign at the same time. We both launched on the same day.
People know him from 47 Furious Tales. By the way, 47 Furious Tales and Mr. Quentin are both nominees on the Best of 2021 on criticalblast.com. So go over, vote. Vote early, vote often, but you can only vote once because we do keep track. And this is where I go, hey, Siri, remind me in 10 days to back Lost Magic on Kickstarter.
Okay, your reminder is set for the 22nd of January, 2022.
Thank you. Because it's Kickstarter, I back on the last days of Kickstarter because they don't take my money right away like Indiegogo does. And I'll look at my PayPal. I'm like, oh, yeah, I have money. And then I'll use it.
Oh.
And then Kickstarter comes and says, where's our money? Fool me once, set reminders. All right. Thank you again for bringing this onto the show. Folks in the chat, appreciate you being here so much. We do not have a show without you. And as always, while you were here, well, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.